You are going to need crayons or colored pencils, maybe both, a half sheet of paper, and a pencil for this project. For your project, you will be drawing a landscape with an animal that would be found in the Sahara Desert, near Egypt, in the Nile River. So some examples of these animals might be a hippo, an egret, a crocodile, a hawk, many different types of cats. But today I've chosen a camel. Without camels, it would be very hard to cross the desert. So I thought that this was a great choice. When I start the camel, I am going to start, and I'm only going to be drawing the camel's head, neck, and maybe a little bit of its body. I'm also going to add in an Egyptian landscape. So I'm going to draw very lightly, and I'm going to start out by just drawing a letter U. I'm going to add a curve on each side of the letter U. Oh, I got to even that out a bit. And to create the lips, I'm going to do a number 3 that fell over on its back. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to create the bottom lip with just a little curve. And we're going to fill in this space. In between the ends of my 3, I'm going to make the camel's nose. So it's going to be a very spread out letter V. Curve on each side. I'm going to put a little loop on the end of it. And I have my camel's nose here. I'm going to make a line up on each side, just about in line with the little curves that are going to become the eyes. It's already starting to look like a camel's face, isn't it? They have very large eyes, and we're just going to start out the eyes with a little letter V. Camels have long eyelashes to keep the dust and sand out of their eyes. And I'm going to make the whole eye black except for maybe a small highlight. Other eye, same thing. And the eyelashes. Okay, now we're going to go up and close up the top of the head, find the middle above the eyes, and we're just going to curve down on each side. Did you know that there are 3 types of camels in the world? My favorite type of camel is called a dromedary. Now we're going to make the camel's ears. Looks pretty good. Maybe create a little hair in the ear there. And sometimes they have a little bump on their head too. Our camel's neck is going to begin right down here next to the mouth. I'm going to curve it off to the right side, I think. And then I'm going to create the big hump that begins its body. It's about as goes up to its eyes. Let's see, I'm going to bring the neck down to the bottom of the page. So one of the things that you can do as you're working on your camel is you should definitely look up a picture. So I've created my camel here, and I want to kind of make mine fancy. And I am going to put a halter on it. So I'm going to start with a line over its eyes from ear to ear. We're going to have a very fancy camel. Put some gems on it. And maybe the halter comes across its face too. Now if you're making a halter, you can make it just as fancy as you want, or maybe you don't want your camel to have a halter, and that's fine too. Make it the way you would like it. But it just gives me a chance to have a little bit more decoration. I think I might put a blanket over one of the humps on its back. So I'm just going to bring this line out a little bit further so it looks like it's going over the camel. See how I did that? I just brought the line out a little further, went back to the camel's body, and then went across. So now I can make that just as fancy as I want too. I think if I had a camel, it would be very decorated. Now in the background, we're going to take a little bit of our Egyptian art and study, and we're going to put a pyramid back there, or maybe two pyramids. So I'm going to start out by just drawing a triangle. And all I have to do to add on and make it a pyramid is one more line. Now the Great Pyramids are grouped together in, there's 3 pyramids near each other. So I'm going to put another pyramid over here. I think that looks pretty cool. Now you can add just as much detail as you like. Maybe you want to do like a whole camel back here. It would be very small, and it would not really have very much detail to it because it's so far away. So you would just be making the shapes. Maybe you'd want to have palm trees. Maybe yours is more modern. Maybe there's a truck in the background. So I've got my camel shape here. And now I just have to put the legs on as my camera falls over. Alright. You can add in as much detail as you like. When you have your camel and your landscape drawn just the way you like, I want you to outline with either a black color pencil, a marker, or a Sharpie. Alright, we have created a background, a middle ground, and a foreground. Our camel is the foreground, or whatever animal you drew is your foreground. And I have finished outlining and erasing. One of the things that I want you to try is a blend in your sky. So you are going to choose a few different colors for your sky. I think I'm going to do a sunset sky, so I think I'm going to start with some yellow, maybe a little bit of pink, and let's see, I don't have a very good red, so I'm going to blend into this magenta color. Maybe some violet if I have room. So first I'm going to take my yellow and I'm going to color my sun. Maybe blend in an orange in there too, so it's not quite so boring. There we go. Now I'm going to start with one of my lighter colors down towards the bottom. So I'm going to be starting with my pink color. And I'm starting out, and I'm just going to kind of give myself a border. I'm not pressing too hard because the harder I press, the less control I have over my color pencil. So I'm just kind of pressing medium. It's covering up the paper. Okay. So now I'm going to press a little bit lighter as I go up. It's not going to cover as much of the white paper. But it is going to allow me to blend or mix another color in with my pink. So let's see, I think I'm going to go to my yellow, even this out just a little bit more, pressing very lightly with my pink now. Now when I put my yellow in, I'm not going to start right at the edge of my pink. I'm going to go back in here to the middle where I wasn't pressing quite so hard. And I'm going to bring my yellow up a little higher. So now by the time I get to the top of my pink, I'm pressing hard with my yellow. At first I was just pressing lightly. You can kind of decide. Now I'm pressing medium because I still want my sun to stand out. I can add more orange to it if I want it to really stand out. Alright, I've created a blend in my sky, and now I'm ready to work on my pyramids. When I'm going to shade my pyramids, I have to remember that this is a three-dimensional object. The side of the pyramid that's facing the sun needs to be lighter, and the side facing away needs to be darker. So I'm going to begin on my shadow side, and I have a light brown And I'm going to color with that first. I'm going to blend in my peach color. And that's my shadow side. To create my lighter side, I'm going to start with a much lighter color. I have a kind of orangey yellow color instead of the brown. And then I'm going to blend the peach into that. So I have tinted the pyramid on the right side and I've shaded it on the left side. Now if I feel like they're too similar, I can always go back and add another layer of my dark color or another layer of my light color. Okay, so we finished up in our background and we're going to start working into the middle ground area, and you can decide if you want to use crayons for this. You might be able to color the desert sand a lot faster with crayons, but I think for the palm leaves and the trees at least I need to keep using my color pencils because they're so small and tight in there. If you have a couple of different colors, you can always add a little bit of variety with different shades of the same color. So I have a darker green and a lighter green here. And you can also layer your colors to make your own color. Alright, I've put a little bit of shading into my sand and it's got a lot of texture in it, and I think I'm going to leave it that way. So now I get to color my camel just the way I want it. I hope you guys had a lot of fun exploring all the different links and the slides that I put in there. If you didn't already see it, you can go visit an ancient Egyptian tomb of a queen and explore that. There's information about this really cool cat statue that was found in a tomb, and a little Nile hippo statue. One of the interesting things about the Nile hippo statue is that when they found it, it looked like the legs had been broken on purpose, because a hippo is such a powerful animal. When they put it into the tomb, they wanted to be able to control it in the afterlife, so they broke 3 of the legs off the hippo and placed it in the tomb broken. So I have added texture with my black color pencil, and I want to make that head look like it is coming forward a little bit and standing out from the neck. So I'm making the neck and the body of the camel a little bit darker, and I'm going to make the head and the face a little bit lighter. So you can see I've colored lightly with my brown up here into a medium, and adding the black in makes it nice and dark. I hope you've enjoyed making this Egyptian-inspired camel landscape. Don't forget to click on the slide that I attached to the assignment in Google Classroom,